One of the top concerns home buyers have when moving to Oklahoma from other states is the crazy high premiums for homeowners insurance. That's right, we have low home prices, but high insurance premiums here in Oklahoma. Today I'm going to tell you how to navigate high insurance premiums in Oklahoma. I'm Natalie Bratton with RE/MAX First. Let's go. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Natalie Bratton of the Bratton Real Estate Group at RE/MAX First in Oklahoma City. Welcome to this channel where I post most Fridays about living in Oklahoma and real estate. So if you're considering moving to Oklahoma or learning more about Oklahoma, subscribe to my channel, click the bell, and make sure that you are notified every time I post a video. So, most of you who watch my channel are intrigued about Oklahoma, and you are definitely excited about our home prices. Our home prices are probably quite a bit lower than the place where you're living now, and so that excites you a little bit. But you are often stunned to see what our home insurance prices are. So, we are one of the top 5 states for high premiums for home insurance. It is not because our houses are all blown away from tornadoes. While that is a possibility, the reason we have high insurance premiums are thunderstorms, high winds, and hail. So I'm going to give you some tips for shopping for home insurance so that you can make sure you get the best rate and the best coverage you need for your home in Oklahoma. So the first tip is be sure and shop around. Don't just go with the first estimate you get. If you call 4 or 5 different agencies, you will get a huge range in the premium amount. So don't call just one and panic. Get recommendations from people who know people, and then have them send you a copy of the proposal so that you can compare the types of coverage. But never just go with one. Okay, I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but here in Oklahoma, you will have 2 deductibles. Your first deductible is all perils. All peril is when your hot water tank leaks and ruins your floor. All peril usually has to do with water and plumbing. So with all perils, you will generally have 1% as your deductible. Some companies will give you a $1,000 deductible. So when you're looking at your premium prices, be sure and look at the deductible, because if you just have a $1,000 deductible for things that happen at your house, that's pretty awesome. I mean, then you can actually make claims and get some money back for things. The second deductible is for wind and hail. Here in Oklahoma, wind and hail are separate from everything else. And that is because we have thunderstorms. We have thunderstorms where you are going to get high winds and the occasional hailstorm that will beat on the exterior of your home. That is the reason we have high insurance premiums. So you're going to have a separate deductible. You want that deductible to be 1%. That way, when the roof is totaled from hail, or on your gutters and your siding, everything gets pelted a little bit. When you get total replacement for your roof, you are only out that 1% deductible. So roofs are the big thing here. Roofs are the reason we have high premiums. Okay, so I have been a homeowner for 19 years. I've owned 3 houses. I have replaced 5 roofs in 19 years. So if you live in Oklahoma for 5 to 10 years, you will likely replace your roof at least once. It does not mean that there were holes in the roof, or like there were active leaks, or like hail rained down and major destruction. It's just considered totaled when there are hail dings all over a composition shingle. So most of us here have composition asphalt shingles, and while they are really good, they show hail dings, and for whatever reason, even if they're not leaking, it's considered totaled if your roof is covered in hail dings. And there are 2 types of roof coverage. There's total replacement and there's actual cash value, or total depreciated cost. If your roof is less than 10 years old and in good shape, you will get total replacement value on your roof. So hail-dings happen, boom, 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 boom. You filed a claim, the roof gets replaced, and you are only out your deductible, which should be 1%. If your roof is more than 10 years old, then it's actual cash value, and they take the age of your house, the age of your roof, and the cost to replace it, and they give you a portion of that. So if you have actual cash value and you have a $30,000 roof, they may give you half of that. So actual cash value is not the worst thing to have as your roof coverage, but whenever you can, get total replacement costs. Another thing to consider when choosing a homeowner's insurance policy is what they have for total replacement cost. So when I was young and naive, I wanted my total replacement cost to be as low as possible because that made my premium lower. But what that is if your whole house burned to the ground and you rebuilt it just like it is, how much would it cost today to rebuild it? And so if you buy a house for $400,000, it's probably going to cost $550 to rebuild it. So you want to make sure that the amount that they give you as total replacement is high enough. So let's say they come back and they'll say it's $505 as total replacement cost. That means your deductible is based off of that amount. So your deductible at 1% would be $5,050. Underneath that, there'll be another number that is extended coverage, and that might be $40,000 or $50,000. So that way they're saying, okay, if you can't get it rebuilt for $505, we'll give you this extra $40,000. And then there's another line that is extended coverage, and it'll say something like, we're going to pay 25% of whatever's left. So if you go gung-ho and you can't build your house for $505, and then you can't build it for $40 more than that, if it goes over that, they'll pay a quarter of it. So just make sure that there is enough in there that if you did have to rebuild, you'll get enough money to rebuild. So when shopping for home insurance, 1, make sure you shop around. 2, you want to look at the 2 deductibles, all peril deductible and wind and hail deductible. Besides the premium cost, you're also going to want to see what kind of roof coverage you get, total replacement or actual cash value, and then you want to look at your total replacement costs and make sure it's high enough that if you had to rebuild your house, you could. Lastly, you want to go with somebody reputable that has high ratings, that has good customer service, that has good reviews online, and whenever possible, have a local insurance agent who wants you to be happy, that wants to help you out, and somebody who's really familiar with how to navigate insurance in Oklahoma. So having a local agent could really be a way to make sure that you get the best coverage possible. So lastly, you're like, all of this is great, but really, Natalie, how high is it? Well, and honestly, because I don't know where you're from, I don't know how to tell you how it relates to where you live. But if you've been a homeowner for over a decade and you've never made a claim, then already you're ahead of us here, because typically you're going to have at least 1 claim per decade. It's just what we do. So typically when I am talking to people about insurance, I will tell people this: the newer your house is, the lower your rate's going to be. The smaller your house is, the lower your rate's going to be. So I hope that clears up just a little bit on how home insurance works in Oklahoma. I hope that helps you a little bit. You know, you're going to save money moving here. And so just one of the things you have to deal with is that we do have higher home insurance premiums, but in the long run, it will still work out and you will still have money savings from moving here versus where you probably live now. So if you want to know more, I do have another video about the hazards of homeowners insurance in Oklahoma, and then come back next week where maybe I'll do a tour of a neighborhood or something pretty, or maybe we'll talk about the holidays. So I will see you next time. Thanks.